So it turns out that infidelity is actually not uncommon in both men and women. In fact, surveys estimate that almost one-fourth of all marriages experience infidelity at some point, and that is just counting the people who found out about it. The figure of those who didn't find out about it is unknown. It's very hard for most people to be logical about infidelity. They start raging or get so sad and hurt that they can't look at the situation reasonably. Well, today we want to answer some very important questions. Why do people cheat in their relationship or marriages? Under what condition is cheating permissible? Who are the worst cheats? What are the effects of cheating, whether positive or otherwise? To break this down logically, I have wonderful people joining me to discuss this. They will be sharing their honest and professional views from the perspective of both genders. This is The Talk Shop, and I'm Victor Tehemba. Let the talk begin. Yeah, welcome back. And as you can see, it's a full house here today on Talk Shop. We will be discussing on infidelity in relationship and marriages. Now, this is an interesting topic, and that is the reason why we have a full house and people will be discussing these issues from their own perspective, professional and honest perspective. Now we're going to start with introduction. We're going to start on a personal note. Maybe we'll start with Faith, who will introduce herself by yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Faith Akame, and I am a chemist and a civil servant.
And next to Faith is Mr. Daniel.
Okay, my name is Daniel Ojadwa. I am an IT and security expert. I'm also an author.
Okay, immediate to my left is Amara.
Hi, I'm Amara. I'm a data analyst and a writer.
Oh, wonderful. And okay, yes, I'm bringing back Brian for the second time.
Okay, hi, my name is Brian. I'm a writer and a communications consultant.
Okay. And just next to Brian is Precious Gaza.
Hi, my name is Precious, and I'm an emotional intelligence coach.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, before we go on, let's sound a note of warning that for those who might be feeling personal to attack Brian is also very confrontational when it comes to issues that really bother that. So as we all know today, we are supposed to discuss about infidelity in marriages, and this is very important. Sorry, not marriages, relationship generally. And maybe I'm going to kick off from Daniel on the fact that you are the only person I can confirm here now that is marriage. So the question is, why do people cheat in their relationship or marriages? So maybe as a married man, you might have a perspective.
Okay, thanks. Well, let me issue a disclaimer first of all. I am not going to have a lot of perspective because I am married, but I could say I would have a lot to say about that based on my experiences and my encounters with people. Now, I have a lot of friends, most of them guys who we interact a lot, and men feel free to talk about things like this when they are with themselves. Vis-a-vis, just like women too tend to talk about things like this freely when they are with themselves. But basically, I think cheating stems from dissatisfaction. It's innate. It could be about an external factor or something that happens between you and your partner. So nobody just comes out and says, I want to cheat. Though there are people who, even if you give them the perfect scenario, they are still prone to cheat, notwithstanding. But I think a larger percentage of people who, in quote, cheat once in a while, will do that because it stems from some form of dissatisfaction within them. So maybe they are trying to do that to get back at their partner or just break even.
But how would you wanting to get back at your partner be something like, okay, let me just give the floor to Precious to talk now, because he said something about saying the fact that people want to retaliate, get back at their partners for cheating, so they too also go back to go on and cheat as well.
Yeah.
How does it help in actually solving the problem, or in fact?
It doesn't solve the problem. It's actually an immature thing to do. I would say that cheating stems from a place, although what he said is correct, but I would say cheating stems from a place of indiscipline. Because in a relationship, you're giving yourself to another person, and you're supposed to, there's self-gratification and then there's intimacy. But then when you cheat, you're leaving that place of intimacy to satisfy your wants. It's there with porn, with food, with, so like when you find something attractive and you want to try it out, or you've met someone that is exciting and you spending more time with that person, instead of disciplining yourself and reminding yourself you're in a committed relationship, you satisfy that want and cheat. So I believe, or I would say, it stems from a place of indiscipline, although the place of being not satisfied in the relationship comes into play, but it's mostly indiscipline. Because if you're not satisfied in a relationship, you can communicate with your partner and find out ways to bring in that spark again, but then you don't communicate, you shut your partner out, and then you decide to indulge the other person. Yeah.
Well, the way you're looking is like you have something to say.
Yeah.
You really do.
I do.
Okay.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, first of all, I think that I wouldn't call it cheating except you're married. Because when people are married, then you going out of, you leaving the I'm looking for the exact phrase to be, you leaving that
confines.
God bless my brother, the confines. He's married, so he knows the right word. the confines of the vows you took to go and seek or get some satisfaction from another person. That's when I can call it cheating. But if me and somebody we're just dating, all right, and then she said something about being dissatisfied. Okay, if both of us are dating and I'm dissatisfied, maybe she's not the woman God don't say I go marry. If you and I'm dissatisfied, and I meet another woman who I'm excited about, who gives me that satisfaction, and then I leave her and then end up with this woman, you don't exactly call it cheating. We're probably just checking who will be our final partners, right?
Are you dating right now?
I shouldn't answer that.
Because
okay. Yes, I am.
Yeah. So are you cheating on your partner right now?
No.
Yes,
This is you're putting me on the spot.
All right.
You're putting me on the spot right now.
In this thing that you have painted, do you do that with your current partner?
No, let me. I'm not going to say I don't do it with my current partner, but it doesn't mean that I can't meet new people. And who knows? You understand? Who knows? I can.
I get where you're going.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. If we are dating and I just go out with a female friend, we're not dating yet, and then we just go out to have lunch. Do you consider that cheating? What is cheating? Is it when it's sexual or it's just?
No. There's even emotional.
It's not always sexual.
Cheating is when you transfer all the intimacy, vulnerability to another person that you experience with your partner. It's like you're open with your partner. You talk to the same access that your partner has to you, the same level of intimacy and vulnerability is being transferred to another person. So it mustn't be sexual.
That's making it broader now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So on this point, I'm going to hold it, but we are going to come back on that. Let's take a perspective on this cheating from Faith. What do you think? Why do you think people cheat in relationship?
Why? Like they all said, it can be because of dissatisfaction. But another thing I want to add is when a person doesn't possess they don't feel the need, or they are pretty much too lazy to address issues, whatever issue they may have with their partners. You could hear of cases where the person will be like, oh, she doesn't listen to me, and then maybe they find someone outside who listens to them, and from there they start cheating on their partner. So there's the dissatisfaction, and there's also the fact that most people do not always address issue, because from a little issue it's always,
Exactly.
if it's not addressed, it will always blow up.
Yes.
Okay, so quickly, have you been in that kind of situation, whether you are the victim or you are the the person doing the cheating, whether you are the cheater or the cheatee? have you found yourself in that position?
No.
The thing is this,
Very well.
there's always this debate about okay, that's what I'm going to pick up with what she said earlier, that cheating will occur when you share some of those intimacy with somebody else outside.
But that happens at some point or the other in the life of every man or woman, whether you're dating or whether you're
Exactly.
married. At some point, but it's the onus lies on you to call yourself to order.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
communication if I end up telling something that I know I should tell my wife alone, I tell it to some other person, that means I'm trying to establish some level of intimacy with that person.
Yes.
Now, I'm out of line, but it could lead to something, it could escalate to something bigger. I should be able to call myself to order, and so it always starts with communication. You understand? So that's why cheating is not just about sleeping with somebody else who is not your partner and all of that. Once you allow
I
that
disagree.
level of
I disagree.
I'm
I
sorry,
disagree with
let me
that.
just finish this point. Once you allow that level of communication become very intimate, for instance, if you are friends with a married woman and she just friends, but she tells you intimate things about her relationship with her husband and all of that,
She starts complaining about her husband
she's
to
actually
you.
cheating on the man because she's not supposed to tell you those things. Those things are not your business to know. You understand? It starts from there.
It always
doesn't
starts
just
from
start
there.
from. You understand?
So sorry, Brian. So let's look at this. Now, I want us to really define what exactly is cheating, or at what level, what actions, what conditions will you say that okay, this is actually cheating? Now, because the target here remains, you said when there are some levels of intimacy, right?
Yes.
So
Intimacy.
now this is my own theory here right now. When it comes to who are the worst between men and women, I always say only just about 2% of men cheat.
We'll start a gender.
Right, no,
I don't want us to start a gender war
gender
because
war.
I know a lot of women that cheat.
Yes.
And I
See,
know a lot of men that cheat.
I'm an emotional.
I know more.
a lot of men that cheat.
I know a lot
But
of.
they feel like it's in their right
Yes,
to cheat.
that is
In
the
this
problem.
part- in this part
of the
That
world.
is the issue.
I think-
with
I think-
men.
I-
That's the issue with men. They are
In this part of the
entitled to
world,
it. But
let's
women
be
will
very-
cheat and clean their mouth, and
You
would
would never know.
I have spoken
You
to
never know.
I have a lot of private sessions with women, and the things I've heard, like women cheat, but they
will never know.
they feel sorry about it. They are remorse.
Oh,
But men will
please.
cheat,
And a
and
woman will
she
cheat
was not
for more
house.
intricate
She was
reasons, unlike the man.
exactly.
The man will
Yes,
cheat
so-
for very shallow reasons.
Exactly.
But the woman will cheat for something that is very, very deep.
Exactly.
So exactly that's.
But cheating
that's
is
the
cheating,
point.
I
I
think.
agree.
Cheating is
Exactly.
cheating.
But there's something he said that I just want to that I disagree. He said that once that she said it and he re-echoed it. It's when you share a level of intimacy that's supposed to give to one person to another person, then that's cheating. Now, I may sound very, very pedestrian right now, but is it not possible to share intimacy with more than one person? I think isn't that why
Fondness.
we have
Fondness
polygamous
is the word.
Yes.
people?
Fondness.
Exactly.
Yeah,
is the
so
word.
Yes,
And
it's
the bond of you are not
I
intimate.
No, you're supposed
Because
to
if
have,
It come in, it becomes
you're
intimacy.
supposed to have
It's
boundaries.
when it's cheating, when like we start having the kind of love that you're supposed to have for
your
just your
partner,
partner.
yeah.
There's only one type of love you're supposed to have for just your
I
partner.
want to ask you a question.
Of
How
course,
many
you can have brothers
partners?
and sisters
There are people that
you love
are
in a
married
different way.
are married to more than one woman.
Yeah, that is it. We'll come
So is it not?
to that.
Did they love their wives
They are
equally?
polygamous. They have
They are
accepted that they are
polygamous.
polygamous.
Is polygamy a bad
And their
thing?
partners
Polygamy
are
requires
like
a
It's not
level
a bad
of
thing, Abi.
openness.
If you
Requires
are
a level of
polygamous,
openness.
let's
that way that you are
Let's
seeing
know
other
that
people.
you're polygamous.
That you're married to other people, not that you are in an acclaimed committed relationship with your partner
Yes.
and you go hopping from one bed to another.
How will you marry the second wife if you don't?
No, that's
Develop
what,
an
that's
intimacy
what I
right
said.
now.
You need
Take
to
the
have
level
that
of
communication.
openness.
That's why we say there's something called an open relationship.
Exactly.
Yes.
They are people.
No. I don't think that people that are in polygamous marriages
yeah,
are called open marriages. No.
Sorry.
I did not say open.
He said open relationship.
Hold on.
Polygamy is when
Okay,
it's
so
one-sided, when the whole open relationship, both partners are free to do what they want.
Well, we don't have that sort of thing in Nigeria, do we?
no,
We
but
don't-
then, sorry,
I don't practice that kind of
I
thing.
want to pick something from what Faith said.
We have polyamorous people in this part of the world. Funny enough, we
Exactly.
do. Yeah.
They're probably really low.
So I want to pick up something from where Faith said. Faith said is when cheating occurs when you begin to share
Intimacy.
intimacy.
Not
No,
intimacy,
no,
I
that's
said
it.
love.
Love, the kind of
you're supposed
love.
to have for
So
just
now,
your partner.
really, I can because I can speak on behalf of men somehow, not totally, but me, I can speak on behalf of men that a man could be in a relationship and then still sleep with another lady without feeling any act of feeling for her or
Emotions,
whatever.
yeah.
Yes.
And then goes on. So with that, if you find your man in that position, you know that he doesn't feel anything towards that lady, whatever. Will
How
you
would you know?
categorize that as cheating?
How would you
Yes,
know? Yeah,
of course.
it's cheating.
It's them. That's why I said that.
Okay.
Because
But
What's
he
physical
doesn't love
cheating
her.
and-
I know
It
some
doesn't
women. I know
matter.
some
You need
women.
to
I know
know
some
someone
women.
before you
I know some women on a personal note. I know some women who
It doesn't
whose
exonerate the
husbands are
fact
like
that
that.
it's cheating.
No, but you just ask yourself a question. You said, do you need to love someone before you
No, you
No,
don't
Brian,
need to love
Brian,
someone
I know some
before
women
you
who are
sleep
like
with
that.
them.
Huh?
But sleeping
They know
with
their
someone
husband
that
love
you
them.
don't love doesn't mean that you are not cheating. You
Yeah.
are cheating.
Really? Okay, so
explain how it's cheating.
Yeah,
Since people
yeah,
have clearly defined
no,
cheating
no,
as sharing
no.
intimacy.
Brian,
Sharing.
you are committed
There is
to
sexual
another
intimacy,
person.
there is
Yes,
emotional
exactly.
intimacy.
What if your intimacy is just
You have
emotional?
reached your commitment.
hold up. Okay,
It is still
can we just go on break, and when we come back, and then we continue this conversation?
No, we,
Well, this is still the talk shop, and we are talking. So before we went on that break, there was some sort of explanation that was to be made, but I think we are going to skip the explanation and then move on to another important question. Okay, we discussed the offset, and it's already bringing some sort of heat argument. Let me just start from Amara by my left here. At what point is cheating permissible in a relationship?
Cheating is never permissible. If you are seeing red flags or red lights, or if you think the relationship isn't working again for you, then I think you should walk.
Sure.
Leave the person. Move on with your life. You don't cheat on people because the effect that cheating has on the other person, most times is psychological. They feel like, I'm not enough. Maybe that's the reason why he or she cheated. So instead of having someone feel that way, just leave them.
So are we agreeing that under no condition is cheating permissible?
I agree. I'm sure he doesn't.
why are you speaking for me?
I agree with your face. I agree.
No, do you agree?
Let me just put it in this way. If I'm in a relationship with someone and I'm unhappy, and you know, sometimes you cannot know what you're missing until you see it out there, and then when you meet someone else, you just met the person, you have not started any form of relationship with this person, and this person excites you, and then and when you go back home, you're not happy with your
Initial
current partner.
excitement.
You just realize that, oh, this is what I've been missing, right? That process of bonding with that new person, that's what my
Initial
sisters
excitement,
are
that's what
calling
it is.
cheating, right?
No.
Now, because they say once you start feeling some level of intimacy with somebody,
You're
else,
mixing it up.
You're mixing it.
You see, that is just a starting point. It leads to something else. You understand?
The choice is whether
leads-
the case is whether you entertain it, you harbor it, you
Yeah.
know it.
It's just like
Yes, you
temptation.
feed it.
Now the reason
You
I'm
feed it.
the reason I'm harboring it is because I'm not happy with my current relationship. Like, it's boring and there's nothing exciting. You can call it initial excitement, but when I get to the relationship, I will find out that it's the same thing, right?
Do you know the thing that there will always be somebody hotter, there will always be somebody finer, there will always be somebody richer,
No, but that's
there
not
will
the
always
point.
be somebody more. So the
It
case
is.
is, when you're in a relationship, have you decided to be with this person? If you start feeling boring or you're not satisfied, have you communicated to your partner? Does your partner even know about it? Have you guys tried?
I
to
should apologize
maybe
for
work
using the
things-
phrase boring and all that. There are some situations you find yourself in a relationship and be like, this one will go. Maybe it's not just there are some things you cannot
Yeah.
talk out of. If you're in a relationship with someone that is abusive, it doesn't have to be physically abusive, maybe verbally abusive.
Yeah.
There are some
Then you
things
shouldn't be
you be
there.
like, hey, you cannot live with this.
Yeah, then
right?
you shouldn't be there.
And so as I'm
No, but it's not always
living
easy to
with this
just
person,
live,
I'm
like
going
you
to another
said.
There's
person,
also
right?
couples
Always
consent.
It's not always easy to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not easy to live. So have you even tried to work it out? That's the first question I
But-
ask.
don't even
but
work it
I
out.
think that I think that Brian is trying to say that being with your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife shouldn't stop you from meeting the love of your life.
Can I help you on sex? Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Your boyfriend should not stop you from finding.
Well,
true
that's
love.
a divergent view, and I think you are a minority of people who share that view.
No, but it's true. It's true.
Now,
It's true.
to just talk about something she said.
I'm
earlier.
sorry, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. I shouldn't be asking, but I want to ask you.
Okay.
Is your wife the first person you dated?
Of course not.
Yeah, you left your girlfriend to go and find
I
her.
didn't leave anybody
Oh,
to
but at
find
some
her.
point you
I was
you-
not dating when I found her.
Okay, but you
I
had
found
left
her.
someone and eventually found your wife.
Of course, I was willing to date.
So
when
your
I met
girlfriend
her.
does not stop you from eventually finding true
No,
love.
no,
No, I wasn't in a
No,
relationship
no,
when
no.
I found her.
Why-
I wasn't.
See,
She was not in either. She was not in anyone. If she was in a relationship before she met me, everyone knows she would have said no to me.
okay.
No matter how much she had liked me at that point.
No, but
she would
I
have
think
said
there
no.
are situations where someone is in a relationship, you're also in a
It
relationship, and
happens,
both of you
of
end up
course,
together.
of
It doesn't
course.
mean, does it mean? No, it's not rare.
You see
It's
a
not
girl,
rare.
a girl.
It's normal.
It is very hard to see a girl who's in a relationship. You walk up to her and tell her you want to date her, and all, and you are serious. She knows you're serious. She likes you. In very rare cases, does she give you a chance until
In this
that
Nigeria.
one that she's. I'm telling you.
In this Nigeria.
I'm telling you, it is
Okay,
very
that's
real.
not-
When I say
I'm
I mean
glad I'm
a real one, a real one, not a shallow
Brian,
boyfriend kind of relationship.
People of- is that fan over here, but people one fight or one
I'm
dispute,
leaving.
they say,
I don't want
"I'm
again.
leaving,"
I'm
and
going.
you keep jumping from one person to the other because. I mean, how
Is
do you
this-
expect to enter a
is the
relationship
search for true love now? You
it
have to keep
be
making
perfect?
mistakes.
Nobody is perfect.
There is
You
no
don't know this
perfect
person will
relationship
enter
out there.
you.
You
And
start
it's
till
process
you
of
die if
learning
that's-
the
that there's
person.
no perfect relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you may be willing to work something out. What if your partner is not willing to work something out?
They're not
Exactly.
for you.
Say,
now.
people say
It's true.
communicate. I
Yeah.
think the main problem is comprehension.
Yeah.
You communicate. Do they understand what?
It's a two-way street. I
There
always
is a
say
man for
it's
every
a
woman.
two-way
There's a
street.
woman for every man. Just
Yeah.
look for your kind.
Exactly.
Now,
Look for your
so,
own
but just the
headache
point you said,
and
just a
enjoy.
second, like 5 seconds. Now, when a man cheats, it's not always because their partner is inadequate. You find a lot of women who are good looking, who are respectful, who are like a man's dream woman, kind of any man's dream kind of woman. I'm not saying they may be perfect per se and all of that, but then the man will still go ahead to cheat. So it could stem, like I said earlier, a sense of dissatisfaction. You understand? So it's not always when the woman now finds out and the woman will now say, "Oh, you made me feel like I was inadequate for you," and all of that. But of course, you will feel that way.
But I still think that dissatisfaction comes from a personal fantasy that the men have. Some men have very crazy desires in the bedroom that their wives cannot match up to.
Talk about it with her. You can explore.
Some women don't want to explore.
Yes.
Not just no. See.
No,
also
please say that
marry-
out. So we
When
can
we say
get-
compatibility in relationships, it goes a long
No,
way.
I thought
It goes a
we
long
had
way.
that.
Now,
did.
Victor, let me just make one other little point. A few days ago, we were talking about this issue and my wife. That there's a point you get to when you're dating somebody or you're married to them. It doesn't always mean marriage. I mean your partner generally. There's a point you guys get to. We're talking about a friend whose wife had to go do a program abroad, and it's been a while. And I was like asking, how will these guys cope? I know it's going to be hard for them because they're very close. And I said, what about people who stay abroad and their wives or husbands are here? How do they cope? Like, it's not always about sex in dating or in marriage, but the part that your partner is close to you. There are days when you just want to talk to that person in person, like face to face, feel their body, feel them. It's not always about sex per se. So you find that there are people who are dating or are married, could be with each other for even 3 months or 1 month or 2 weeks and nothing happens, but they share a bond that seeing face to face and all of that brings up.
Yeah.
So you have to marry somebody who you are compatible with on a lot of angles and not just in one part.
Yeah.
You can't overlook any of
Okay,
this.
so
Yeah.
the lesson consensus was that cheating is not permissible at any point except for
No, but when it does happen, I think there's a place for forgiveness.
there's a place of forgiveness.
Both sides.
Yes, there's a
especially,
place for forgiveness.
especially for the
If-
Nigerian man,
if-
because
if
Nigerian
you are
men,
saying-
when their wives err, they feel like they want to take it on top of their head and broadcast it. Hey, my wife, this I will never. But if it was them, they forgive them
but in
easily.
this case right now, if we're saying cheating is not permissible, but as a matter of fact, they have listed or they have published several benefits of cheating.
Are there any?
Yes.
Sorry,
There
what
are-
are the benefits of
Okay,
cheating?
yes, I am going to say one. In fact, there was one that was there's a this survey that occurred last year, if I must say, and one of the things was like in women, it does as the fact that the survey once proved that women who are cheated on ultimately grew from the experience and learn to choose better mates in the future.
So you're saying it's okay.
Can we deny
In
that?
relationships, Abi.
Yes.
Let me
Uh-huh.
explain what you just said. You know how Christians say, when you go through hardships,
It makes you a
it
better
makes you
person, stronger.
Some people now interpret it as God inflicting you with those
hardships.
hardships
No,
to
exactly.
make you better. God will not inflict you with that thing. It has happened because this is a fallen world, but then you learn from that thing. So it doesn't mean your partner will now inflict you with cheating because
Just
you're
say-
trying to
So
make
you
you a
learn.
better person. It happens, but then we learn from our bad experiences.
Then that's not just one. There are other several one, and others here say it can help you identify areas that need attention. The other that says it can help you draw a line in the sand for whatever that means.
all
Yeah,
these
that's
things-
second
all
one.
these
Sexually
things
and
can be
emotional needs.
avoided if you communicate.
And if they
Communication
comprehend.
is the foundation. If you do not communicate, how will you know your partner wants
When-
to be doing
There
this?
is a
Or
very-
your
Not
partner has
communicate.
this one.
There is
And
one
then
other
don't
item.
communicate.
Sorry, there is one other item on it that is very important that I think it's also good. They say cheating can lead you to becoming a better lover.
I disagree.
Well,
I
well,
disagree.
please.
I disagree, and I will tell you why I disagree.
disagree.
Okay, let us say. Let us.
Okay, I feel maybe like how you say hardships make you better or whatever. Maybe you now want to keep your husband or your wife, and so you become more
Put in more effort.
adventurous, put in more effort. And
that's-
all of
that's the
that.
point. That's it.
Maybe you dress more sexy like your husband wants,
Mm-hmm.
and you are more, I don't know, open.
Give the person
Well,
more
guess
attention.
what?
Yes,
All of that.
but one thing that I don't agree with, like you said earlier, is when you were saying when you were talking about the side chick thing, like she said, communication. If you don't tell your wife, okay, there are people that's what that woman was shouting on the side chick for is like will I say a taboo? Why would you want?
Why would you go and meet the side chick?
Then why would you not tell your wife before you get married or whatever that okay,
You want.
I would like to explore and do this and do this and do this. So
People,
are you
when they are
down?
dating, they don't talk. All they do
Yes.
is go and look at each other.
I've heard of
They
cases.
don't-
I've heard of
Actually,
I've heard a
have
lot
you
of
eaten
cases.
yesterday?
Exactly. They don't ask hard questions.
What will
If
you
I'm
eat?
sick tomorrow, what will happen? If I lose my job next tomorrow, what will happen? If I can't do this in bed, can you cope with? As they don't ask hard
I think
questions.
I need
Yes,
to. I need to say
I've
something.
had a lot of cases where a lot of people don't communicate with they don't tell their partner, okay, this is what I expect in a marriage. I like fresh food every day, or I like this.
So that
I
if
would
you
like
can
to
take
try
it, you
this
stay.
in
If
the
you cannot take
bedroom.
it, you won't.
Yes, they don't.
Because they are
Then when you now
just
enter,
fresh food every
the
day.
man
They don't-
springs it on you, or your wife springs it on you and tells you, I want this, I want that. But this is now you're in a marriage. People find it hard to give up. You understand?
Yeah.
This is when she was shouting at that side chick now, and in my mind I'm like, did this man? Yeah, no, that's not
doesn't
what
have
I was
respect
thinking
for
of.
herself for her to
Did
have
this
done that.
did this man even talk to his wife before he married her? That this is something he would want to try.
Most likely not.
And if you find out this person is not this person you're about to marry is not someone that will be willing to try this, then why don't you go look for someone like we said
Let me
earlier,
ask that
compatibility
question. Can I answer
in a
that
lot
question?
of ways.
Can I
You
answer that
said
question?
something. If cheating makes you better, you start wearing sexy stuff for your partner. But do you know
To
that
keep them.
there's a possibility that that woman would have given her husband what he wanted, and he would still go outside.
Let me answer your
That
question.
is-
That's why I
You
said that
asked-
cheating is a choice.
See,
You
Exactly.
cheat
It
because
is
you want
actually.
to cheat.
To be
No,
very
no,
honest,
that's
to be
why I
very, to be
said
very
that.
honest,
If
to be
you
very
guys-
honest, as adults, whatever we do in life, we have to understand and bear the brunt that
Exactly.
is our responsibility.
Be
It's a
responsible for
choice.
I agree.
Yes.
But
Even
I want
children,
to
even
bring
children
the
know what is
point
wrong and what
sometimes.
is right.
Is
You
it
understand?
possible that you're my wife and every feeling I have is domiciled in you? Is it possible that there are some feelings that may not be domiciled in you? There are some desires.
You are
that I
human
have.
now. You are not
You cannot
immortal.
have
You are mortal.
100% of something.
That's what I'm
In
saying.
life, you cannot
See,
have 100% of
Exactly. Let me give
anything.
you an example.
You pick who is closest to your so-called spec or who you feel. Do you understand?
If you like big boss,
sometimes-
by all
Out of
means,
your
by all means,
boxes.
necessarily look for a woman who has big boss to
but you
marry.
know the funny thing.
Yes.
Dan, I
If
If
agree.
you like big
situations
bumps,
like this.
look for a woman that has big hips and marry.
Daniel,
You will
what
still
if
marry a woman with big hips and sleep
And
with the
chase-
one that is
That
Bigger
doesn't
hips.
have partner.
I don't think I would marry a woman because of her physical appearance.
Is part of it. The man. See, Brian, don't
Because
mistake
that's not where-
it.
see-
The man is moved by what he sees. The man as a being
true,
is moved by what he sees.
true, yes.
You meet a girl and you like people who are very intelligent and bright. You need to see a beautiful girl first for you to even listen to
When
what
you
she has
see
to
her,
say.
you know
Yes.
Exactly.
You must first see her first. You say hello, my name is Brian. She now tells you her name. Oh, you say I like the way you sound. From there you start to converse and then you hear
Can
what
I
is in her
finish?
head.
Can I finish this
Yeah.
scenario? Yes, I like the way you sound. I like the way you look and
Okay.
everything. And but that's not even a given. I've met people that I like the way they look and everything, and yet we didn't go far because there are some
You seem
when
to have a
you
lot
go
of
deeper into
experiences,
a
man.
person, you realize that these things, these superficial things, the way you look, the way you sound, are not going to guarantee a lifetime of faithfulness.
For
to that person.
starters.
Okay, if we say this for
This is
starters,
just
if we
self-contradicting.
keep looking, I think it's pretty much surface that you look at the person and say, hey, of course, attraction is the first thing. You have to be physically attracted to this person. Yes, that's sorted out. Okay, but
Nobody sees your.
how does this person behave to other people? And then you realize that okay, me and this person is not compatible because maybe I'm a kind person and she's not. Maybe I talk very softly and she's rude, and then yes, she's physically attractive, but that's me. So you meet another person, physical attraction to something is missing until you find someone who is not as beautiful as the other, as the previous two, and then yet
close
in
to what
her,
you want because there's a perfect partner out there.
yeah, okay,
Yes.
but yes, you find someone, but she's not as gorgeous, as beautiful as the previous two. But inside her, you can see a level of humanity that you want to be with for a long time, right?
So
and so
you
you
have your
and so you have settled
Yes.
with this person because you can have a lifetime with this person because she's a manager. She can take care of you. She can take care of your children when you have them in the future. But suddenly you started missing that big boobs and the big ass.
That's the
You
place.
don't-
Okay,
you
so
don't-
then I
So
think
can I
you need
use
to how can you can everything
then you don't know what you want.
decide the one
That's
decide no.
so you decide
Hold on.
you decide what is the most important.
Yes.
what is
Definitely,
most important to
definitely.
you.
The fact
And
that she's a
where
the fact that she's a
have to
homemaker
go
is
from
more
there.
important to me.
Exactly.
Right?
So
Which
you,
is why
you make do with the rest. That's where discipline comes in. You have made a choice. Love is a choice. See,
Precious, we have to move away from this topic. But you wanted to say something about analogy.
Okay, I was going to say, like, when you look at, when you see a job vacancy and then it lists the
qualifications and
qualifications and
requirements,
what they want, it's very rare in most cases for them to see someone with 100%. But they pick who is closest to, and you don't see the job people now. They say, I've seen somebody with masters in so and so. This person that has 80%, that meets 80% of my requirements, doesn't have masters in this. Let me leave this. Let me fire this person and hire the person with the 20% left. It doesn't happen.
Okay,
So
so
why can't it apply to your life?
so which means look for a partner even if it doesn't tick all your boxes but tick most of your boxes. So
Yes.
if you're going to move away from there, the question that we were here to answer most importantly was why people cheat. And so we're going to start from so you want to give us like 5 reasons why you think women as your profession, and then you have listened to a lot of women speak. From your profession, you just give us like 5 reasons why you think women. So you speak for women and let the men speak for the men. So as a woman, what do you think? 5 reasons why you think women cheat.
women cheat. Lack of attention. Lack of vulnerability in the relationship.
Vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Women. Okay, so based on the amount of people I've spoken with, they would say in their relationship, the men don't open up to them. Like they don't open up when they're having issues. They don't open up when maybe they're at low points. And I understand from men because there's this thing in the society, toxic masculinity.
Should we cry?
How men are supposed to always be men.
Should we cry?
No,
it
it doesn't
It's
always mean
not-
crying.
You just
It
mentioned
doesn't always
two.
mean
So
crying.
let's not
Let's
forget
go
that.
on. Let's go on. Lack of vulnerability, lack of attention, lack of communication.
What's the difference between attention and communication?
But then she was listening to. Let her finish
Let me
listening.
finish listening. Let me finish listening. What else? Not being present in the home, like emotionally present. Some men just feel like once they have money, they don't need to be involved in their children's life. They don't need to be involved in the affairs of the home. They just throw money at you and just go about their business. They come back from work. Oh, they've thrown money. They've gone to bed. They are not present. So that. What else? I can only think of four off the top of my head.
Even
That's
physical
fine.
presence. Even physical presence.
Yes, physical presence.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, why do men cheat?
Yes.
Number one, dissatisfaction. I think number one should be indiscipline. Anyway, indiscipline. The men cheat because some of them just can't help themselves.
Okay.
I think some of them are just randy. They love to deal with different women. Yeah.
Just list
The second one is dissatisfaction. The third one is adventure.
Okay.
The fourth one is some of them want to satisfy a need that they are not getting. I think it's close to dissatisfaction, but it's some of these needs are very peculiar. Some of them want to do S&M, and no wife is going to say, "Hey, come and with me."
That's adventure.
True. Then number 5, men cheat because it is inbred. It is inbuilt.
It came with the system.
So your default setting as a man is to cheat.
No.
Just to be clear.
I'm sure I'm not going
nature.
to be the first person that you hear say
It's
men are polygamous
in
by
nature.
nature.
Yeah, by nature.
All male species of all
Conditioning.
Even
animals in the world
animals. Even animals.
Conditioning.
are polygamous.
Sorry, let's. Reasons why you think women cheat.
We are all polygamous in nature.
But
Exactly.
Honestly, we are all polygamous in nature. I can
have you
decide
seen girls that have boyfriends for money, boyfriend for hair, boyfriend for
For
shopping,
recharge
boyfriend
card.
for recharge?
True.
So everybody is if we are going that way, everybody can be polygamous in nature.
No, everybody is
polygamous in
and-
nature. Dissatisfaction, lack of attention, and to sum it all, because they want to. It is a choice. I will always say
For
it.
women.
Yes, for
Okay.
everybody, cheating is a choice.
Mr. Dan.
Yeah, like Brian rightly said, I think first of all is indiscipline, because it's a choice, and two, dissatisfaction, maybe something they feel they are missing out, and three, sometimes men feel they did not really sow their wild oats before they got married. That's why it's very important for a man to explore, marry when you're ready to marry, and some men cheat because they feel their wives don't respect them enough, so they want to get their ego back from where they feel they can get it from these other women and all that. And then lastly, I think some cheat too for financial gains, which is absurd. and sad.
When
Yeah.
you talk about ego, it always reminded me that it also reminded me that the list I was trying to read out about the benefits, it also has to do with that. That
Yeah,
cheating
massages
also
their
boosts
ego and all that.
Yes. Faith, reasons why you think women
Shallow.
cheat.
I think proximity, when they, just like you have a coworker or someone that works with you, and then you spend time. That's one. Two, to pay back. A lot of women cheat to pay back
for
their
revenge.
cheating partners. Three,
Revenge sex.
yes. Three, dissatisfaction, like we all say, like we all said, when they are not happy with their
Yeah.
husbands or their partners. And then four, I think just because they can, like she said, because they want to. I don't know. And five, I think boredom,
Well,
something. Yes, it could be.
Yeah,
It could,
true.
it could be.
No. I just want somebody to be there
Alright,
for them.
so
and all that, yeah.
okay, we are running up, and this very last one, please, is just very quick, in 2 seconds. Say or think about it in 2 seconds, and then give your answer. No beating around the bush. Who cheats the more, men or women? Faith.
In relationships, I think it could be equal, but in
No,
marriages,
like I
men.
said, you had 2 seconds, so you're supposed to just hit
Oh,
on it.
just
don't,
one?
Yes, don't
Men.
explain. Men, is that men or women? Who cheats the most?
I think because of the fact that we're in Nigeria and men take pride in cheating than women, men.
Men.
Yeah.
Amara.
Women.
Women. Brian.
Men.
Men. Women. I'm also on the part that women cheat the most.
I-
And on this note,
I am not because it's not
I said,
official.
I am-
It's not official.
Yes,
it's not official. Officially because
Women cheat
will
on
never
the
know.
vote.
Look,
What you don't know,
for me,
what you don't
based
know
on my
will
job,
never kill you.
well, based on
Yeah.
my job, that's
Women
that's
cheat on the
all.
vote.
okay. And
But women mostly will vent to you, men will not vent to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
So how would you know?
Yeah,
okay,
thing.
so I think on that note, it was 3 aside, 3 for men and 3 for women, and then we are going to come to a close on that. So Brian, thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Precious, for bringing in your professional insights to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Have fun.
when we ask questions, who cheat the most between men and women, please they should take your answer more seriously because you're a professional in that field. And we were talking about why men cheat. Take Mr. Daniel's answers, reasons why men cheat seriously because he's a married man. So he's speaking from that experience. Don't mind Brian. He's actually single to and stupor.
But so because I'm
You are
single,
single to stupor.
I don't have experience in. No, but the fact that Daniel is married,
Yeah.
it means that he has been taken away from that space where he has left the jungle. He is still in the jungle.
All right. So on that
So we
note,
know it's the happen, Pastor.
on that note, Talk Shop comes to an end for this episode, but Talk Shop is going to come back again to your screen next week. Thank you for everything, my beautiful guests.
Thanks for having us.
And yeah, and that's a wrap. My name remains Victor Tenhemba. See you next week.
Bye.